Okay, collective. Hello, hello, hello. I thought I'd do a little reading on the nature of the obstacle because the last reading was all about removing an obstacle that was getting in the way of progress. So I just threw the coins before I switched on the camera so I could make this reading a little quicker for you. And you've got two hexagrams. Now you've got the first hexagram, you got this one here, 45, which is gathering together with the moving 6 at the top. And that changes into hexagram 12, which I'll just draw up for you so you can see it. When the moving line changes, it changes into hexagram 12, which is stagnation, basically. And the other hexagram you got was, in the second part of the story, was hexagram 36, which is darkening of the light, which is a pretty serious hexagram, and that changes into shock. So there's some pretty full-on energies going on here, which is unsurprising because we're talking about what is the obstacle to progress. So I guess, you know, it's unlikely to be something that's fun. So what we've got, so I'll just go through all of that. Where's your, let me put the paper on fire here. Just move that candle. That's your hexagrams there. So you've got 45 with a moving 6 at the top. That was the first thing we needed to know. And that was all about a group. So 45 is gathering together. So it's all about groups. And then the 6 at the top is about somebody in the group or, you know, possibly even the group as a whole, but, you know, at least one person is not honest, whether that's emotionally honest or financially honest or whatever. I'll just read it to you. So this is what's blocking progress. So it's a group, it's to do with a group situation, and there's someone in the group who fits this description, and I'll just get the description for you. So wait a minute, it says, one sighs and weeps, but there will be no error. Openness, honesty, and expression of feelings is the way to strengthen the bonds within a group, and thus strengthen the group. So somebody is not being open and honest with their feelings. I would probably just open and honest generally. So if it's telling you that openness and honesty and the expression of feelings is the way to strengthen the bonds within the group's not functioning properly because there is lacking that. So the lack of openness is secretiveness, a lack of honesty is dishonesty, and the expression of feelings. So people are being cagey, they're being secretive, cagey, and dishonest in this group, or at least one person is. So that's the first obstacle that the sage wanted to point to. So the question was actually the nature of the obstacle. So the nature of the obstacle is that there's not enough openness, honesty, and expression of true feelings. So the bonds within the group have become weakened. So everyone's basically going around, you know, keeping secrets from each other and being cagey. And then it changes into hexagram 12. Oh, I'll just read I'll read the other interpretation of the moving line from hexagram 45. This one's a bit more nuanced and complicated. So lamenting and sighing is the basic gist of, you know, the nature of the obstacle is that this situation is making you lament and sigh. You don't want to be in a situation that's making you have heavy sighs and feel lamenting all the time. That's just not, it's not where you want to be, generally speaking. So lamenting and sighing, that's the nature of this obstacle. This and the preceding line sometimes refers to our relationship with the sage. You may know that as God or the Most High or something like that. The cosmos, the universe, however you care to frame that. So this and the preceding line sometimes refer to our relationship with the sage. In the preceding line, we may be clinging to the I Ching or the path because we think that it will achieve the gains we seek, rather than because it shows us the correct path. So you've got to want to do things because they are correct, not because of the imagined rewards. So just doing a thing because it's good to do, not for some particular result. Restlessness and indecision in times of adversity imply that our trust is incomplete. So more trust is needed in the universe or your higher self or the sage. So if your trust is incomplete, it implies that there's still a fear there. So you might want to try and locate that fear and, identify it, see if you can work through it or face it or prove its nothingness, perhaps. So our trust is incomplete. We are not yet firm in our center. So I guess all these things want to pull you off your center. That's part of the challenge in adversity, is staying on center despite everyone else's bad behavior or them trying to influence you to do things in their way or in a different way or whatever it may be. So just sticking with what you know to be true, staying grounded. If we recognize this and reach out for help, an alliance with the sage becomes possible. So the first thing is to recognize your own error, if you have one, which may be that you're still doubting, you're not trusting. So you need to reaffirm your trust and ask for help. So maybe if you're not feeling the trust, it's because you haven't asked for help, like your ancestors, your spirit guides, the sage or whatever. You have free will. So unless you actually ask for help, they're not allowed to step in. It's part of the rules. So, and maybe, like asking with the gratitude and the expectation that, all good things and right things are possible, rather than complaining about what you're not getting. I've got a cough, excuse me. So, if this line refers to another person, we should be open-minded when he reaches towards us. And, open-minded doesn't mean being naive or overly trusting. It just means being open-minded. We lament and sigh because of how long it takes to make enduring progress. Well, it certainly does seem to take a long time when people are obstinate. Yes, so enduring progress just does take a long time. It's like a oak tree grows very slowly. It's not like a plant that grows quickly may reach a great height very quickly, but it will only be there for a few seasons at the most, whereas a tree that grows slowly will be there for hundreds of years potentially if it's not cut down. So the slow progress is the progress that's enduring, it's not subject to sudden reversals. And I guess we need to trust that slow progress is the kind of progress we want, even though it feels frustrating at the time. We lament and sigh because of how long it takes to make enduring progress. Our childish heart still carries some resistance to the way of the sage. Desires and lamentations defeat the inner independence which ensures progress. It is important to ask for help to attain the higher understanding that will enable us to become free of these emotions. Right, because when you're not trusting, that puts you in a fear space, which then puts you in that emotional turbulence. And the emotional turbulence is half the problem of what makes it hard to endure. So if you can ask for help, then you can have some trust reinstalled. That will take the emotional turbulence down and make the situation easier to endure and be patient for that slow progress. So that was your first hexagram, and then it changes into stagnation. And I might actually read that from here because it's quite a good way of putting it, this book. It's just that all these things pass. Oh, that's a bit long. Okay, no, I'm not going to read that. It's way too long. So the basic gist is that just nothing's moving. Oh, wait a minute. No, it's not too long. I'm going to read it to you. This hexagram refers to dealing with difficult and obdurate situations in which there appears to be no progress. The hexagram instructs us on how to relate to such times of darkness and difficulty. When we perceive that there is no progress in our general situation, tension and inner conflict arise. The remedy is to disengage from looking at the situation. And we've talked about this before. The situation can't actually change while you're looking at it. Because reality kind of has to stay stable. So quantum mechanics speaking, you actually have to look away for it to have a chance to change. Because you affect reality with your perception, and so long as you're locked into the perception that things are going badly, then they can't actually go well while you're looking at them. So long as you're perceiving it that way, you might as well look the other way, at least temporarily. It's not to say that spiritual bypassing is a way to go all the time. It's just talking about you can't get locked into that inner conflict situation where you brood and stew over the same thing over and over. We neither abandon our principles nor our goals. When we have re-established inner calm, the clarity needed to put things into perspective becomes possible. Right, you can't get clarity while you're all emotionally stirred up. Until then, nothing can be done. So the purpose of looking away, apart from giving the situation a chance to change while you're not looking at it, is to bring the emotional turbulence down so that you can get clarity, so that when you look at it again, you can see it clearly and you can act from a place of clear perception. So you're not trying to deal with the wrong problem, basically. You're thinking clearly so you can make the right move when you do look at it again. The entire thrust of the hexagram is to adjust one's attitude, since adapting in the correct way can cause the situation to change. If standstill has its roots in our defective ideas, following the counsel given in the hexagram will counteract the bad effects of those ideas. The time of standstill refers to the time prior to becoming a student of the I Ching, and to all the ideas we had at that time about the way things work. Receiving this hexagram is meant to make us re-examine the ideas and values we have taken for granted as correct. So you might be operating under a wrong assumption potentially. That's important, I think. I will just read it again because I feel like that's important. Receiving this hexagram is meant to make us re-examine the ideas and values we have taken for granted as correct. We are meant to realize the wheel of fate is stuck in the mud and that progress is stalled because we still cling to ideas the I Ching regards as decadent. Yeah, the sage is quite strict. It's it was often used as a military manual. The sage can at times come across a bit like an army drill sergeant or something, in this sense that there's a very disciplined, ordered correctness that's always expected from the sage. Well, I mean, not to the point where you have no joy in life or anything like that, but just in terms of times when it's really important to be corrected, the sage won't give you any leeway. It's like, you do it this way or you get stuck in the mud. So there's some idea that somebody has in the situation, possibly you, that the sage regards as decadent. We cling to the ideas that I Ching regards as decadent. So some kind of decadence. And it might not be obvious. It might be like being magnificent towards people and letting them get away with things they shouldn't. That can be considered a form of decadence. Like, it's not necessarily something that you put into your body, which is the first sort of idea that comes to mind. It could be just bad habits of, like letting people get away with things to the point, little things to the point that where they become big things. That's potentially one. Or it could be yourself, just bad habits. Time wasting is an idea that comes to mind. Okay, so receiving this hexagram refers to times when we are stopped at a crossroads, wondering which direction or attitude will lead to progress. It is important not to linger in the crossroads of self-conflict or to search for the precisely correct attitude, for its solution will not be found in this way. In all striving, the ego attempts to find some way to make things work in order to stay in control. Okay, so that's a clue there, actually. If you're striving, that means necessarily that the ego is engaged. Like, anytime you're really struggling and striving, the ego is a part of it, because when you're in harmony or in alignment with the Tao or the way of the sage, then things just magically come together in a kind of effortless way. The things you need fall into your lap. The parking space you want appears, all like that. Like, everything's in harmony and it just flows. So if you find yourself struggling and striving, then you're possibly labouring under a wrong idea, and the ego is become engaged somehow, and that's why you're struggling, because when you're in alignment, you don't struggle, basically. So at that point, I guess it would make sense to take a step back and have a breather and try and get a different perspective on the situation. It is better to detach from looking at the situation and go on our way, taking care not to engage either in hope or hopelessness. If we can accept that we are meant to patiently persevere, then by itself fate will indicate the way. Okay, so that's encouraging, at least. As much as it's annoying and it's requiring patience and all of that, will eventually sort itself out. But then the second hexagram we get, so this is still concerning the nature of the obstacle. Then we get 36, which is like one of the heaviest, more heavy hexagrams in the whole I Ching. And it turns into shock. So basically speaking, something shocking is going to happen. So you're supposed to pull away from the group with hexagram 12, stagnation. And I'm sort of getting the feeling here is like maybe you leave just in time before something shocking happens. Or something shocking happens which causes you to pull away from the group. Either way, I guess they're about to reveal their true colours. Or something's about to happen to them. It could be a cosmic correction happening to them. Nevertheless, shock is on the path here somewhere, which, you know, when shock happens, you realize what you can depend on, and it's often not what you think. You can depend on the sage, but people, places, situations and things, circumstances and things are generally not dependable. So for hexagram 36, which is all about keeping a low profile, staying out of the way of people who mean to harm you, basically. Darkening of the light's really full on. It's basically you've got to hide your light under a bushel because the wrong kind of people are out there doing bad things. Like, to put it really sort of simplified. It's just a kind of waiting hexagram. It's like, while these bad people are out, or, you know, people are out doing bad things, you kind of don't want to be in the line of fire. You don't want them to focus their attention on you. So line 3 you got, which was, one hunts in the south and captures the great chief of darkness. One should not be eager to make all correct at once. Expect those you have offended to be angry. Take any opportunity to right any wrongs you may have committed. So the people you're dealing with are offended, like whether they're justly offended or not, you know, like they could have been told a bunch of nonsense and, you know, like been offended over something that you didn't actually do, potentially, but nevertheless they're offended and angry. Or maybe you did do something, who knows. Whatever the reason, these people are angry and offended. And so it's not going to it's going to take time to sort out, basically. It's once again it's sort of like it's going to take time to sort out this mess because of these angry, offended people and people who aren't being honest. Right? So, yeah. And the stagnation and debauchery and the decadence is involved. And then you get line 4, which says, one enters the left side of the belly of the dark land. So this is like getting to the heart of darkness. This is where you find out, it's in some interpretations, it's like where you enter a room and discover that, you know, people you thought you could trust or whatever are doing something gravely evil. It's like a shocking revelation. It's like discovering that, you know, someone was, just making a discovery of something really unpleasant and really serious. So getting to the heart of darkness, it's like getting to the crux of the matter. It's getting to the rotten core. It's like finding out what the actual motives or plans of these people are, or what their intentions are, or their true feelings maybe, or, you know, their true agenda perhaps. So one enters the left side of the belly in the dark land, but one is able to quit the gate and the courtyard of the land of darkness. It says you are in a tense and difficult situation. Stay calm and move cautiously away from it. Excuse me. So it's quite serious. It's like whether the shock happens before or after, it could possibly be before, or maybe the situation in itself is shocking. I think it's like finding out something shocking that makes you go, oh my God, I've got to get away from these people, and quietly and quickly just slip out the back jack kind of a vibe. There's something shocking coming up. And I'm going to guess that if it's not a revelation about these people or what they're doing, their intentions, their feelings, or what they've done already, then you find out something and you leave, and then the shock happens, like possibly to them. It could be you need to get out of the way because a cosmic correction is coming to them. Either way, you don't want to be around dishonest people who have got bad intentions. So if you discover that, then you've got to slip out the back kind of thing. Like, just don't worry about making a show of leaving. You've just got to get out of there quietly and quickly. And there's some kind of a shock on the way. So shock usually comes in to break ego illusions and to make you know what's for real that you can and can't depend on, which is basically only God. You can't depend on people, places, situations, or things. All right, let's just throw a few cards here to get a bit more. Okay. Please, something helpful for my collective to do with dealing with this obstacle. A helpful energy for dealing with the obstacles, shocks, darkening of the light. This is pretty heavy layout here. What quality is going to help them, dear Sage? Purification, clearing out the clutter. Okay, so that's just on all levels. Whether it be in your body, in your space, energetically, what else, you know. So purification is going to help you. Excuse me. Okay. What else is going to help? Or maybe, let's just say, what's another clue, dear Sage, about all of this for my collective? One more clue. Got two decks here together. One more clue, dear Sage, from this deck. Oh, they're just jumping everywhere. One more clue. Very soon. What you're asking for will happen soon and in a happy way. So this is, I guess something's about to be revealed fairly soon. Time frame. Anything to know about this very soon time frame? It would be funny if it says 10 years from now. And that's very soon. Very soon. Anything about this timeline? There's no more time. So it's sort of happening now. Like very soon. Okay. So clearing out the clutter. It's time to clear out the clutter now because something's about to happen. It seems like a readiness kind of a thing to me. Be ready so you don't have to get ready because there's something on the timeline. It's possible you may even need to make a quick exit from a situation, potentially, or just away from these people, potentially. Or something's about to happen to them and you don't want to be in the same space. Anyway, you need to just be very wary of these people for the minute because you don't want to be splattered with their karma if they're doing shitty things, basically. Because it's gotten to the point where you've got stagnation and darkening of the light and shock. It's like a whole cascade of ill effects from what they're doing. It's catching up with them, basically. Or the whole situation's in that it's gotten to quite a dark stage. Okay. Okay, any clues about what's not helpful? Oh, because these are picture cards. We'll just get some not helpful pictures. What's the nature of the not helpful or the shock? Not helpful? Not helpful secrets. Okay, so there's some unhelpful secrets in this situation for you. What else is not helpful, dear sage? A dark-haired man. A dark-haired man's maybe got some secrets. Or about a dark-haired man. What else is not helpful? Jealousy. Maybe the dark-haired man is jealous. Or there's jealousy over a dark-haired man. What else is not helpful? Secrets and jealousy. It's not helpful. Okay, some kind of spiritual... It's like spiritual warfare. Spiritual bad vibes. Spiritual jealousy. Spiritual secrets. It's happening on a spiritual level. So psychic attack from a possibly just, or being said bad vibes from this dark-haired man. Okay, what's on the helpful side? On the helpful side for my collective? Faith. Have faith, my collective. The sages got you covered. What's helpful, please? What's helpful? A helpful mistake. Maybe you think something's a mistake, but it's not. A helpful mistake. I guess something like sometimes inventions and stuff happen because of mistakes, or you go down the wrong road and find something wonderful or something like that. A mistake that's not a mistake. Or maybe they make a mistake which helps you. What's helpful, please? On the helpful side, dear sage, for my collective. Destruction. So we've got destruction and a cup that's breaking. So whatever's breaking, I think, is for your own good. It's like something had to be just cleared, so to make way for something new. What's helpful? Yeah, loss and gain. So this, it's like a demolition had to take place in order for something positive to come in. That's what I'm getting. Okay. Any other clues about, let's have a clue about the nature of the shock. Clue about the nature of the shock. What flavour of shock, please? What's the flavour of shock? Soul shock. Your soul is preparing to re-establish trust in the process, and it was upside down. So a breach of trust, maybe. What's the nature of the shock? It had not trusting your intuition. So it was like you've been being told every reading to trust your intuition, and it just came up upside down. So I'm going to say that you need to trust your intuition. It's there for a reason. If you're not trusting your intuition, why not? It's there to guide you. What's the nature of the shock? Protect your relationships well. So if you want to keep your relationships, you need to look after them. Okay. One more helpful thing from this deck. Just leave us with something helpful, please. Something helpful to know is that you are gifted. You're very talented and intelligent. So you'll come through this. Looking at this very soon, it looks like that there's going to be some kind of a controlled demolition by the looks of it. Like you've got clear out the clutter, and then you've got destruction, and a broken cup, which is a mistake, and it's like very soon, and there is no more time. So very soon it looks like there's some kind of a controlled demolition, and you're supposed to have faith in this because it's all for you to gain. Like, trust that this is happening for you, not to you. And I think that it's probably making more space for your gifts and talents to come out. You don't need to be in a situation where you've got someone putting all this dark in it, like spiritual, sending you psychic attacks. That's what I'm getting. Psychic attacks, keeping secrets and being very jealous. Possibly a masculine energy. Okay, just throw the dice. Nine, somebody loves you very much. That's the last thing you need to know. So in amongst all this jealousy and secrets and all of like this stuff with the group, which seems like something shocking is going to happen here in the group. Maybe it could be just the illusions being destroyed so that truth can find its way in. That's possible. But possibly you're even supposed to leave this group, potentially. Whatever's happening, it's happening very, very soon. It's right on the verge of happening. It's happening now. There's no more time. There's some kind of a divine cosmic demolition happening for you. Have faith. This is all making way for your gifts. And it's just reminding you to take very good care of the relationships that are important to you. Don't put them on the back burner. Keep them well nourished. I'll leave it there, collective. I don't think there's much more to say. That about covers it. There is some kind of shock on your path. So the trick is not to panic. So be ready. Get ready so you don't have to. Be ready so you don't have to get ready. And don't freak out too much. You'll be right. Like if you know that something's going to happen, then just stay calm and you'll be right. It's supposed to happen to destroy some illusion and to put you in touch with what you can trust. Something will be revealed in all of this by the looks of it. You may find out something really unpleasant that you would rather not be the case, but it's better that you know. It's better that you know the truth, even if it destroys the illusion. If it was an illusion, you don't need it. Okay, I'll leave it there. Have a wonderful day.